We are going to a place where you have seen me find all kinds of crazy stuff. It is a fight to get in here every time. These are old, actual stage cart roads that are dirt, that have seen the fires and 100 years of wear and tear. And we came up here hacking and cutting, no exaggerating, probably 20 to 25 trees, some of them very large, dragging, pushing, crawling, fording all the little creeks because the culverts are clogged and everything is running down the thing, eroding the actual roads. And we're about to go do it again. So you get a strong appreciation for the people who, before tractors, took beasts of burdens and their metal tools and literally carved these roads through. You know, California itself is much like the Appalachians, as the Rockies, as the Sierras. I mean, it's just up and down. It's got a lot of terrain. And yeah, so we are going to go carve a road again. And we're going to dig through bottle dumps that we have found, shotguns and poison bottles. That is the pretense for this adventure. So I hope that you will join me. Gonna leave out a lot of the chainsawing and all that, but that's what we'll be doing. And it's a crazy drive up. It's gonna take us an hour and a half of creeping and crawling and working at it. I'll see you there. Oh my goodness. It's in 1994. This car was made the year before I graduated high school. And that was a long time ago now. Okay, that's gonna be a little bit better. I just aired down a little bit, about, probably 7 pounds. Okay, we are literally here. Uriah's already out and detecting. This is the very spring that stages would stop at. And there's the cart road. We finally made it up. I'm gonna go bottle dig for a little while just so I can get it out of my system. And he's gonna put the big coil on the mine lab and swing that around. And that is the start of the actual treasure hunting.
Dirt fishing.
Dirt fishing. So here is this massive rock wall that runs all the way up and over the hill. Gargantuan. It looks like they brought everything down here over the years and threw it over the edge, and it's decomposed and decomposed, so it's only about 8 to 10 inches down now, but it has everything in it. So there's up to 60s and 70s mixed with some really old stuff, and it looks like there may have been another barn up here, and then this was kind of also became accepted as sort of stuff over the hill type of zone, and it extended all the way around. You end up finding stuff. So that was the rule, was garbage went over the hill or over the wall. So we're gonna start digging around, and really I'll just be moving through the clear spots and eventually working on the deep areas that aren't covered in the fallen trees that have come down since. So right as you walk up here, there's animal bones, 1,000 different shards of stuff, the bottoms of glasses, corners of chests. And you never know what's going to come popping out. We are sitting in the full sun, so that might not be the smartest thing. But it's what we're going to do for now. Looking for little stuff too, so like that little buckle. Come on, if you're metal detecting, it's a good little find. Okay, I'll let you know. Here's my next target. Another little flat buckle. Oh, crumbling away. That one got burnt in the fires. There's just nothing left. We're gonna take oh wow. That one's broken, but look at the crazy iron cross in the middle. We're gonna leave that one in the zinc because they can see that it's broken and they'll transport better. But yeah, for some reason, that one has an iron cross in the middle. Okay, well, we're just gonna leave that like that. Put it over our little finds dish here. And that's why we're gonna look at every little thing, even if we think we've seen it before. What are you? Lots of little wagon parts. I love that type of stuff. Love that type of stuff. It's gonna be a long day. And as much as I want to show you every single thing, if I did, the video would be 10 billion hours long, if I even had the batteries for that. I probably don't. But this is what it's going to look like. Now I'll let you know what the next thing is. Here's the next cap, and it has some sort of symbol in the middle of it also. So I think that one is safe to take out of the zinc. Just go ahead and gently remove that off camera. And I have stacks of those now that I'm making up. So New York Consolidated Fruit Jar Company, New York. Consolidated. Wow, look at all these bones. So, in a place like this, you're less likely to have stuff thrown down outhouses than over the hill, because if you have your own garbage dump, you're not going to fill up your hole that you're trying to make sure it doesn't fill up too quick. Usually, you threw stuff in there if you had plenty of room or it was getting near the end, but not necessarily all the way through. And here, if you had an outhouse and you had a garbage dump nearby, you just put your garbage in the dump, not down the hole, because every time you fill up the hole, you got to move it over and dig a new one. Got a little, who knows how old that is. But we're going to leave that here. What did I see? This little buckle, though. It's a nice little piece of tack. I like to try and save all of those because it speaks of the working horse era. So I love that stuff. Keeping our eyes out for more uranium glass and all that. Those are the details. Tiny ribs. Ooh, nice full abalone shell. We will take that for sure. That's its own treasure. Could be left as it is, or shaped, or polished. Getting more and more rare these days. They just are, unfortunately. If you're old school Californian, you remember, well, depending on how old school you are, there was always more and more to pictures where there was heaps as big as buffalo hides on the prairies type of thing. Just massive piles, unfortunately. And so that's where we are these days. Ooh, that is like a part of a little purse. Got to go slow enough through here to look for the coins that were in the little purse. That is a little brass zipper mechanism. Oh, yeah. Oh, if this is what I think it is. Oh, what are you? That might actually be a plastic toy. What was that stuff called? The, oh, that's a coupe. That's an old toy. It's plastic, but it's that other stuff. When they were making it out of plant, I'll put it up on the screen if I can look it up. I think that's actually going to be really cool. I know you're looking at me like, what's he talking about? A plastic toy car? But they actually go back a ways if this is made out of that stuff. Either way, I think that's really cool. I think it's plasticky. Oh, how could I? Yeah, I don't know. We're definitely going to clean that up. Here's this car. It's actually plastic. but a super thick type of plastic. And see if we can read the words in here. Patent pending USA. Anyways, I looked this up and I figured out what this used to look like. And it's pretty amazing. It's pretty early on plastic. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let me know what you think, if I should paint this and try and restore it, or leave it just like it is as a dug relic. Okay, look right behind it in this hole here. We have a tiny triangle bottle. Last triangle bottle I found here was a little blue owl poison bottle. This is a little mini cork top. As far as bottle digging goes, I love little bottles. And that is little and cute. And it's a corker. It's all uneven. Look how little it held. Oh wow. Okay, I'll have to get this cleaned up and show you too. Here's this little bottle, triangle. Makes me think very much of the little blue poison bottle that we got. Look at the cute little bubbles down in there. So this actually we can look at and see that the seam goes up above the shoulder. So it's like after your 1870 or something. But it stops right there. So that's still an applied top, even though it's probably a machine applied top. But these two pieces were molded together and then that was put on there. So this is actually pre-1900. Probably right at the end of the 1800s. And the shape makes me think maybe poison, just because of the triangle, or at least a strong medicine that came in a little thing and may have had a label that said like strychnine, do not eat, you know. And yeah, it's all cleaned up. It's still got a little bit of the rainbow to it, so I think that is a very desirable, beautiful little bottle there. File popping out. Just popped out a file. See if Mr. Uriah wants that for his iron garden. Speaking of iron, yikes. There's a spike that I'll save. That's a barn spike for sure. All kinds of bolts in here. This is where that little bottle just popped out. So I'm like, there's gonna be 5 more medicine bottles right behind it, right? Right? You never know. Shotguns and everything else have popped out of this dirt. No joke. Pop that out. That's another style of jar lid. It's got the cur on there. Little teeny tiny ding, but I'm gonna keep it in a pile as a pile of them going all together. I'm sure that it wouldn't matter. Look, a little buckle. Man. Oh, it still swings. Okay. I like little buckles. Got a little pile of loot. Okay, this is the other side of the wall. We were digging up there. We were down here. This is the big dump, the deep dump. And even if it's been turned and turned, we're still pulling gold dust. Literally out of somewhere right here. Crazy. Yeah, these were the ends that I stacked up. I didn't bring with me that day. Look at just these aqua ends. Look, each one of those was like, I was thinking you could shape out. But yeah, somewhere right here was that darn gold dust. Sure feel like I should dig around a little bit more. Yikes. But I think I'm actually going to start under some of this. And see if there isn't another lucky deposit of something over here. In some spots it's shallow, in some spots it's a foot deep. So it also goes underneath these trees. So we might move some brush. Okay, I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. We just got this cap gun, heavy pot metal. I know it's just pieces, but we can clean that up and see if there's more details. Okay, here's this cap gun. All the pieces put together. There's actually 3 pieces. These 2 I've glued together with a super strong little super glue, just at their original attachment pinpoints. And then this piece, I'm not going to try and glue, but that's where it sat. And then of course we're missing this section in here. And it says super on there. And there were several companies that made these guns. What I'm noticing on here is it's got a 22 rimfire shoved in the end. So at some point, man, these people are just really crazy with their guns. Every gun that I found there, the 2 real ones, look like they were blown apart. Lots of the other relics that we found, like my Conestoga bell, literally had a bullet hole through it. Here's a kid's gun. And my brain almost says, did they, some bored kid on the ranch back in the day put a 22 in there and hit it with a nail? Or these are rimfires, did they just find the shell and it fit in there perfectly? But that's what that is. As far as capturing the details, it's got a real bullet shell stuck in there. I'm assuming it's already fired. And the heavy iron on this, I don't know if you can see that, but heavy iron. I wire brushed this, of course it was a mess, and then I've oiled it a little bit. You can see it still has a disease that would spread on it. There are words, but I have not been able to make them out. I apologize for that. It's to a point where you can't scrub it anymore or you will lose detail. So you take them out at different times, you look at them with different lights and lights from the side, and sometimes later on your brain will recognize a pattern of a shape and then you can see it. But there's a J on the handle there, I think. Really cool, really heavy. Really happy. That's probably my best cap gun find ever, even though it is, and you can see how it worked, is it had a real trigger that came up, which activated that, and then you probably dropped your cap in there, and when you pulled the trigger, this little part moved forward and pop, made the cap go off. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, back to it. Might even be words right there. And then this, totally potbelly round copper spigot. Still has the valve inside and the little turn, the little square spot where the little handle spigot would go. Pretty classic. We're just digging through here. Guess we should bring these green pieces home and see, just to make sure. Look at the rainbow on that. That would have been a to die for a piece. Look at that. What were you? Something elaborate. Okay, a little mad digging spree here. These little coal plates, shaker plates at the bottom of the stove. Leg. There are several stoves in here. Got another jar lid. Got another buckle. Those look pretty good once you've taken them to a wire brush. Then we got Supreme belly buckle. It's usually the under strap on the saddle. And this, do you think, is that a stirrup piece? I mean, they go in the back of a boot. It's got real ornate little patterning in there. Something iron and old, and it had leather coming down on either side. I was wondering if it was like part of a spur setup. You know, the heel would go in here. Ooh, we already got blister. Have it cleaned up, partially restored, so I wire brushed it down to remove all the scale rust, and then oiled it up. with some heated oil, penetrating oil, and that's about where it is for now. So lost the leather in the cleanup process. There was 2 little things that went down that probably went in front of the heel of the boot, I imagine, and then this would have gone around the back of it, and I believe somehow or other there was a spike attached there. That's what I'm assuming that to be. I think it's beautiful. I've only found one other, and it was not this ornate at all. So yeah, totally cool relic from the cowboy days, before there was a horse whisperer that said, hey, you don't need to do that. This is like a day maker, a week maker, a month maker. Any of these things are. The guns, any of them. This is just a killer day. I don't know how to express that more, but I mean, we're out here in the Wild West, and we're getting to dig around in spots that have sat there since those days were going on, and getting to be the first people to pick these items up and experience and touch history for real. It's just, it's really awesome. So thank you for sharing that with me. That's what we're doing here. Okay, let's get back to it. There's more stuff to find. This is the 3rd, almost complete lantern setup that I've got out of here. So when you see me finding lantern pieces, and I'm telling you that they are, this is a prime example. The top of this would have held the glass wind screen. The wick would have come out of here. We still have the turner to adjust the wick up. So there would have been a little thing that turned and made the wick go up. It's got little teeth in it usually. This is the glass holder, and this one still pops open. That's where the wick would have gone up. The little wheel with spikes turns it and makes it raise or lower, and it would hang down through here. That probably screwed into the top of the glass bottom that held the oil. And then there would be a glass topper on here that was like a windscreen. So again, a cool, very intact, this is what used to light up the world at night. That is one of the lights that lit the way up here. Really cool. Headlights of the past, porch lights, house lights. Really cool. Whatever the frizzer was that is. Hopefully it's not some crazy bit that is so heavy. I guess it could be. What? Something. Let me know what you think. Let's pull this old shovel out of here. And a whole stack of these. I'm just busting away the zinc, piling them in there. They're all pretty plain Jane. I just spotted this that had tumbled out. Looks like a dark brown. Looks like a cork top. Could have been a rubber top or a like a cap. Number 8 on the bottom. Beautiful amber hue. And let's look at the seam. Little bottle. We'll take it. Put these over here. Bottle. Possible bit. Lantern part. Lots of digging. Lots of digging. Making a flat, clean surface out of it so that it'll just look like dirt when we're done instead of heaps and piles. It's got a skeleton key right there. Beautiful. Looks like it's bronze or brass. Skeleton key. That is just gonna look awesome in the finds collection. I am so sweaty. It's not even the hottest day. But working through the last bits of it, going through it slowly, taking it down to the bottom, going back and forth. And you see what other parts of the dig look like just from 50 or 100 years of people digging through it. This is what it's going to look like when I'm done. Trying to submerge all this stuff and spread it nice and flat. And hopefully some leaves will fall on it and it'll just disappear again. What a beautiful little teapot, huh? Too bad. Okay, we just popped out of the dirt. That feels heavy. It feels like it had an actual trigger. You have to think about that one. It's heavy, it's a chunk of iron. The way it's built, I don't know, without the, you really have to know if that's rusted solid or if that's, was fused together, so then it obviously wouldn't be. But if that went around and had a trigger that actually came through there, yeah. Huh. Oh, come on. This is going to be one of the coolest finds ever that you've seen me get metal detecting or digging. This is an actual revolver handle from like a 6-shooter from back in the day, from cowboy days. I've taken it and I've wire brushed it and oiled it. And so you can see more of the details now. I'm not sure if it breached itself here. So there was other videos where we hunted this site and I found a shotgun that was blown out. So if this one is blown out too, that's crazy if that's how the gun was made. I'm not sure, but I thought that there was a, like the guard there that would come out on that side, and it sure looks like it's blown through there. My dad looked at this and said that looks like it was a double action, so it needed to be cocked back and then fired. And the single actions tended to have a smaller little draw on it because you didn't have to pull that back each time to shoot. And this one probably did, and that's why they are the bigger hammer on there. And that's missing all of its scales and everything. But and I feel like the trigger might be stuck back into the pull position unless it just had that short of an area, because in some of them it sat forward. But yeah, you can see the firing pin is still through there. That was one of the details that came out. Very much welded together with rust and everything, but gotta love the pitting. And then you can picture big old long barrel on this. So old iron 6-shooter from cowboy days, the real deal. The real deal, right? How cool is that? Second gun off the site too. That is crazy though, right? Crazy. Crazy. Okay, there's so much you still have to go through. Got a little medicine bottle. Looks like no embossing. Does it have measurements? It does. It's got a few measurements up the side. Medicine symbols. Basic cute little, worth a couple bucks. And looking nice in the collection. Does everybody? Here's this little medicine bottle, all cleaned up. Pretty good condition. It's got one little dink out of it there, but the rest of it is solid, and it's got the little measurements on the sides. I don't know if you can tell, it's got a violet hue to it, so it will continue to turn more and more violet. It's revealed its color of its original silicate, but yeah, it's got that amethyst glow going on that'll just intensify from here on out. Just got this also. Looks like a basic Swiss Army knife, maybe. It at least had the shield on there. Good little pocket knife. Maybe a case. very little spoon. Aww. The bowl has got a little edge design to it. Stainless steel, Japan. I am absolutely ooky. I am just covered in dirt. But we got a spoon. Atlas EDJ Seal. Another jar lid. We have a sconch and the handle coming out of here. Roots going through it. We do. There's an example of what we're always finding and showing you. I'm not going to unbend it here. But there's the drawer pull and the ornate brass piece that went through it. Oh yeah. That's beautiful. Here's this brass sconch with its pounded flat iron handle still intact. So we find these kind of pieces a lot, and this is a good example of what they look like. So that would have gone into the wood, that would have been there. This would be the pole, and you'd open your drawer. Or the door on the stagecoach, you know, or anything. This is beautiful. I hear a beeping and a booping. Just pulled nice blue Lee and Perrins out of here. Worcestershire sauce. It says Lee and Perrins up the side. You see the blue of that? Beautiful. Nice. Here's this bottle, all cleaned up. It has a beautiful blue hue to it. Do you see that? It's a Lee and Perrins Worcestershire. Oh my gosh. Okay. We're not even going to try and say that. But Lee and Perrins, super early on. Let's check the seam. Seam goes all the way to the top, so we know it's after 1900. That's an easy way to date bottles, is they end at the shoulder, it's a certain date period, ends at the neck, it's the next date period up, and if it goes all the way to the top, you know it's after 1900, because the molds went all the way to the top and you didn't have to apply the tops anymore. So, but still a beautiful blue. You can see it's uneven. There's little bubbles throughout it and flaws, and yeah, nice color. I think that's desirable. Oh, never mind. Just found a big old piece of uranium glass sitting here. I have other pieces of the same dish set that definitely glows. We're gonna look around some more then in this zone. Watch your eyeballs. So this is, you see that? This is not. See how just the blue of the black light, the violet just goes through it? And this is. Look at that. Crazy, right? The Incredible Hulk. Radioactive. We're down from where there was a cabin once, and there is no more. And there's roundage in the hole, and it sounded really good. But that's what it is. Don't know. And a wheat penny where we've gone over it and over it and over it. Just had to hit it at the right angle for it to register. What year are we? Can you see? Boy, pretty wiped. I see a 1904 S. Huh. It is a copper penny, right? Not a rusty penny? We will check that for sure, because I'm not sure that ain't a rusty steel. I have to see. The spring still has trickling water in it, just pouring out of the little old stone trough and off down the hill.